Okay, we're in round one here. Opponent's on the play. I think we better mulligan this, although... Yeah, we better mulligan. We do have Tormenting Voice, Fiery Temper, but I think we need to do better than this hand. Alright, I think we got a mulligan one more time, unfortunately. Alright, this hand is going to have to do, I guess. So, piece of the puzzle can, recoup the card advantage loss we have here, but we're certainly in a bit of trouble. You're never in good shape on a multi-5. This much is obvious. Alright, Fevered Visions could also get us a little bit of card advantage. A turn 3 Fevered Visions is ideal, I will say that. Alright, gonna bust out the Fevered Visions now. We want to maximize the damage we deal to our opponent. So we can, if we draw another red mana, we can Tormenting Voice our Fiery Temper and maybe kill something if we're lucky. Otherwise, maybe we just play the Reckless Scholar. We'll see. Maybe we'll draw a mountain. Hermit. Yeah, we're going to want to kill that Hermit, because that's going to keep us from playing Instance. So our opponent is going to start taking some damage here, which is good. It's also going to be drawing cards, though, I guess. Just not ideal. All right. We get pieces of the puzzle. That doesn't get us lands. I think we Reckless Scholar because a little bit desperate to draw some lands. We're not in huge trouble yet, but we're getting there. So we're going to need some mountains here soon. There's Thing in the Ice. That's kind of cool. Can do some work for us, obviously. Unfortunately, it will not bounce the Loam Dryad, because Loam Dryad is actually a horror. He's still pretty incentivized to play spells, though, because of Fevered Visions. Otherwise, this is just shocking him every turn, I guess. Unruly Mob, yeah. I think can be a problem. Nice thing is Reduced to Ashes exiles, right? So it does not pump the Unruly Mob. He's still going to take damage. It's 4 or more, I believe, right? So regardless of the fact that he's got 2 spells here, he still takes damage, which is cool. Ah, okay. So I guess the play now is probably just Thing in the Ice plus Sanguinary Mage. Start to set up a little bit of a defense here. I don't know what I will use Reckless Scholar on. I guess I kind of want all these spells at the moment. Alright, maybe I can ditch one of my pieces of the puzzle. but we'll see. I mean, pieces is nice because if I see like a Geist Blast but 2 other spells I would prefer, you can let the Geist Blast go to your graveyard and still use it later in this deck, which is pretty valuable. Since we want a mountain pretty bad, I'm pretty tempted to ditch one of these pieces of the puzzle. It doesn't look like we're going to have a ton of time to use them, so it's probably just a better idea to get rid of one at least. Equestrian skill. It's going to be a little bit of a problem to deal with, actually. Maybe we need to start casting some spells here quickly. Hoping he doesn't have a pump spell. Looks like he doesn't. I think he would have cast it there if he did. Alright, that's good news. Fevered Visions has done some work on him. He's already taken 6 damage from Fevered Visions. We're gonna get rid of this piece of the puzzle at this point. Probably. Hey, broken concentration. Well, wouldn't have been able to counter it anyway. We're gonna do it one more time here. Geist Blast. Well, cannot find that second mountain, can we? So let me think about this. We can... Let's just ditch pieces because we're hunting for lands, so I think we Tormenting Voice now. And we ditch, I don't know. Probably our other Tormenting Voice. Alright, found our second mountain, so now we can... guess now we can Geist Blast. So let's take out, like... we have to do it on our turn because of the stupid Hermit of the Natternals. Unless I want to just let my... and it is draw a card, too, so we could keep him... So he's still taking damage from Fevered Visions. I don't know if that's, like, the wisest move, though. Let's just take out the Dauntless Cather. I guess it makes the Unruly Mob bigger, but at the same time it prevents some damage, so we'll do it. So next turn, if we draw a land, I guess it has to be a red land, but are we dead? 5, 6, 7, 8. We're not dead. Taking a lot of damage, though. Alright, so I guess next turn we can cast Fiery Temper and Geist Blast and bounce his crew. we can actually copy Fiery Temper. Maybe that's better, actually. Is it whenever you cast, remove it, then if it has no. So I guess the thing in the ice actually triggers before. Maybe we just burn our opponent. Does that kill him? I think it might. Could still actually win this. He's not taking damage this turn from Fevered Visions, though. But still, if I Fiery Temper my opponent, well, milling me doesn't really do that much. Let's see here. Okay. So what we get to do, this is actually kind of crazy. So we play Fiery Temper and we copy it with... Actually, you have to cast it, though, don't you? That's all right. That's all right. Copying does not count as casting. So we do need to actually cast 2 spells here, which I guess means we probably want to... Let's Scholar first, because we're going to end up bouncing our Scholar, so let's just draw a discard here. Alright, I guess... Ditch one of these, play the land. So, because it doesn't bounce the Loam Dryad, I think we want to bounce. We want to kill the Loam Dryad. We could just burn our opponent twice. So we deal 5 damage to him. It takes him to 8. Bounce his team. And then attack with Thing in the Ice. That's probably the best. Takes him to 1 and then he dies to Fevered Visions. That has got to be the play, right? So let's just Fiery Temper him. Guess he could have another Expose Evil. Maybe I didn't want to ditch that land in retrospect because being able to copy Reduce to Ashes with Geist Blast could have been pretty good too. Like I said, the reason I didn't copy Fiery Temper is because it would not count as another... It would not count as casting another instant or sorcery. That's kind of one of those things that a new player wouldn't understand. Because you think, but I'm copying it, how am I not casting it? But yeah, casting it is different than copying a spell. And then we just Geist Blast our opponent. And bounce the world, except this Loam Dryad, who gets to stick around. But then our opponent should be pretty close to dead. Fevered Visions will get them. I guess I'm opening myself up to death from Loam Dryad if he has the right bounce effects, but we kind of wanted to just kill him to Fevered Visions, didn't we? Isn't that ultimately what we wanted to do, folks? So we are 2 Strength of Arms, or an Aim High and a Strength of Arms, or just basically 2 buff spells away from dying here. But what can I tell you? I wanted to kill with, I wanted that sweet, sweet Fevered Visions kill? I mean, we know that most of his 8 cards are just a bunch of creatures, right? There's one. He's got multiple horrors in his deck. That's makes our Thing in the Ice a little bit worse. Let's see. He's got Unruly Mob. He has... I'm trying to think if... He would have to play 4 spells, I think. He has to play 4 more spells, because this is 4 or more cards. So, I don't think it's going to be easy. But he does have the Loam Dryad. He has access to Loam Dryad. Alright, there is 2. So he could play Unruly Mob. He still will not have enough. Just to play just a lot of spells. Alright, there's 3, so he has to play 2 more? No, he has to play 3 more spells. He has to play 3 more spells. Right? Because he goes, 1 more is 4, 1 more is 3, he still draws up to 4. So he has to go down to 2 cards left in his hand. His deck has a lot of 1-drops. There's just no way he can play 2 spells with a colorless mana and a Loam Dryad. Yep, alright. So now he draws back up to 4 and then dies. Fevered Visions. Dealing all sorts of damage to our opponent. And synergizing quite nicely with the Thing in the Ice. Alright. So, playing against fairly aggressive looking deck, but we don't have too much in terms of sideboard. Basically, Sleep Paralysis if there's an emergency creature we can't deal with. Sound Observer does block the world, but we're more focused on these Pyre Hounds for the win. And then maybe a Corpse Trawler because it puts out 2 bodies, but or a Gone Missing. I mean, we've got some options. So he's got like a little mill thing going too. That is actually decent against us, I guess, since we don't have a Rise from the Tides to capitalize on that. But we can deal with a Manic Scribe, and Vessel of Paramnesia on its own is not that big of a threat. So I think we're all right. We've got triple Sanguinary Mage to hold down the early fort. We're going to keep it the same and try again. Oh yeah, I forgot. We won on a mull to 5 there. That was pretty impressive. All right, so we're going to have to mulligan this one. This one we'll keep. And we're going to bottom that, actually. Okay. Not bad, actually. I'm thinking we possibly ditch an island. I'm not sure. Guess we're hoping we draw another land. We'll see what we draw, I guess. If we draw another land, I guess we can ditch a land and not feel bad about it. If we don't, then I do kind of want to cast Tormenting Voice early. I guess we don't have to. I think Dance with the Devils does a lot of work for us. Fork in the road. All right. So finding his blue mana, I imagine. Even if we don't draw the land, I'm pretty sure we're going to end up ditching a land. We'll see. All right. Well, maybe we ditch the Scholar. Maybe we ditch the pieces. I don't want to ditch the land now. So Scholar versus pieces of the puzzle. Probably pieces, I guess. Maybe Scholar's better. No, we replaced it anyway, so I guess it worked out. So next turn we can Geist Blast if we have an emergency. Otherwise play the Scholar. Set up for a broken concentration. Scholar can at least maybe trade with something, which isn't bad either. Alright, Vessel. Not a big deal. Should be a good time to rip a Fevered Visions, the old turn 3 Fevered Visions again, which dealt, I believe, 8 damage to our opponent last game, which is pretty absurd. Alright, let's get down the Scholar, makes best use of mana. Plus, we're still sort of digging for land here, especially with this broken concentration. I don't think I've ever madnessed a broken concentration before, so that would be cool. Alright, milling us for 3. Well, only hit 1 land, but did hit one of our big win cons and hit probably our best burn spell. Dauntless Cathar. Alright, we can Geist Blast that, no problem. Or trade a Reckless Scholar for it. Each of those options are fine too. So, might have to use Reckless Scholar if we don't draw the land. Alright. Let's Scholar. Need that land. So we did find the land. Which means we probably just... ditch a mage. Play a land. And pass. Maybe just leave up Broken Concentration and Geist Blast. Wolf of Devil's Breach can do some work for us too, so we'll see how this works. Oh, I'm going to punish that play. All right, there's our 5th land. Not exactly the 5th land we're looking for, though. But that's all right. So I guess we get to play Sanguinary Mage. And we're probably just ditching the pieces of the puzzle. I can get in for 2 points of damage, but we just want that. We just want that 5th red mana. I guess I could have done it on my turn too, but we're just gonna pass. So I probably don't need the pieces of the puzzle if I already have a scholar. I keep just ditching these. Manic Scribe. Does he have 4 card types? Let's see. Sorcery, enchantment, creature, enchantment, land. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's potentially a way for him to win. We'll just get rid of it. Well, I'm a little bit less inclined to ditch pieces of the puzzle, but there it is. So we did find the red mana, which means we're going to ditch pieces. One tap draw. There's a Pyre Hound too, but let's get our Wolf of Big Dude online. Wolf of Wall Street over here. Expose Evil. Not a big deal when he's only got 2 power on board. Probably would have saved that if I was him. Traverse, searching any creature he wants. Let's see what he finds. Mana Scribe number 2. All right. You still get to just kill that with Wolf of Wall Street over here. So, not a big deal. No cards left in our opponent's hand. All right, so let's just take care of the Manic Scribe threat, and I think we probably got this pretty well locked down. Would prefer to not ditch the Pyre Hound, but I will in a pinch. It doesn't matter. All right, so let's Scholar now. All right. So attack with the wolf. Discard Pyre Hound, take care of that guy. So we still have 13 cards left in our deck, as well as a Geist Blast in our graveyard. So basically, can copy any of our instants or sorceries at this point, which is pretty valuable. He does have a Dauntless Cathar in his yard. Looks like he does not remember that, though. Reduce to ashes. All right, well, let's Scholar ourselves still. All right. So, guess we don't need to use Reduce. Let's keep the Wolf of Wall Street beats coming. Actually, I guess we play a land, don't we? Because now once we get to 8 mana, we can just copy Reduce to Ashes and kill whatever other creature he gets here. So if we draw a land, we get to reduce with Geist Blast, kill whatever. We draw a spell, maybe copy that, we'll see. All right, so play our 8th land. All right, we're just going to do double reduce here. Be done with it. So we draw, control, reduce to ashes, target that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Empty this. And, oh, I guess because of Sanguinary Mage, so we'll copy that. Change the target. Guess technically you want to do, well, reduce I guess doesn't matter because I was going to say technically you want to do the non-unruly mob first when you're copying a burn spell because the unruly gets bigger, which does make sense, but in the case of reduced ashes it exiles, so it doesn't matter. So opponent was doing a mill strategy. I think, especially since they just completely forgot about the Dauntless Cathar, that there were some errors made on our opponent's part, but I've been there. I've made mistakes too, so it's not a big deal. What do we got? Puncturing Light? That won't do it. Yeah, it's not going to do it, though. All right, so that's cool. Won on a couple mulligans, but I actually think this deck has to fare well against Mill most of the time, I would say, because basically this deck loses against aggro. And it can lose very harshly against aggro. But Mill just gives our deck enough time to make a Pyrohound huge or get out one of our big threats. I think his lack of removal was pretty costly. He also wasn't all in on the mill. He had some good mill. He did have some good mill. Double Manic Scribe is pretty good, and he could probably fairly consistently get his Delirium online. He had sorcery that gets land. He had enchantments, instants. So a deck that can work, but obviously not so well against what we're doing. All right, we'll see you round 2.